you are. I've been looking for YouTube. I heard you were over here. Strange that I would find you hiding out in a old Civil War fort, but I guess to each their own. Well, I'm glad I found you because I have a couple things I wanted to go over with you. One of them is this, which I will explain, and the other is this. Well, it appears as though one of my wonderful subscribers have tagged me, and so I feel so obliged to respond. And they have 5 questions for me. And let's see, the first one is, who inspired you the most on YouTube? Second question, do you think there is more to life than meets the eye? Third question, your favorite flavor of ice cream? Fourth question, favorite actress growing up? And fifth question, have you ever broken a bone? Well, I will respond to these now. But I also want to tell you about this. Alright, what this is, I'm going to cover up this little bit of information because you might actually be able to figure it out based on that. So I was helping a friend move, and I was going through some of his stuff, and he was just throwing it into the trash can, and I'm just kind of, handling. And then I get upon this, right? Amongst a bunch of old, junk mail and stuff like that, you get this, and I'm like, asking myself, what is this? And he's like, oh, don't worry about that. You can just throw that away. I'm going, throw it away? What is this? Looks like a map of some sort. And he's like, it's nothing. It's just a project I was working on, and now I'm done with it. And I was like, oh, but what's it about? And he's like, well, it's kind of really pretty much a big waste of time at this point. I'm like, it looks kind of old. And he's like, no, it's just kind of been through a lot. And I'm like, why is it burnt? And he's like, well, I was thinking about just, it was a project and I was going to go after it, and I figured, I wasn't going to be able to, so I just was going to if I couldn't get it, then nobody could. So I was going to burn it, but then, I kind of thought otherwise, and so I kind of stomped it out, and I'm hanging on to it. I was like, huh. I said, well, tell me more about it. And he's like, okay, first let's finish giving her some stuff, and I'll tell you some more. So we finished up, cleaning and moving stuff, and then he explained to me, he said he was down in the Caribbean working for a salvage company, and the salvage company had happened upon a old galleon ship that had sunk, and they actually retrieved quite a bit of treasure as a result of their salvage efforts they were able to do on this old galleon ship. And they found quite a heavy loot, and apparently when they were coming back into port on this island that shall be go nameless at this point, when they were coming back into port, some of the stuff, it was literally so much stuff that it was starting to pile up and on the ship, and they almost didn't have room for it, and they were worried about the ship and the extra weight. Well, they hit a wave, and some of the stuff fell over, and some of the stuff fell into the water, and he got down the GPS position of where the stuff fell over, and he says he doesn't know exactly what it was that fell over, but that if it was consistent with the rest of the stuff that they found, it might actually be worth quite a bit of money. And I was like, wow, so whatever happened, did they go out and get it? And he's like, no. He said the company really didn't know about it too much. They kind of had an idea that maybe some things went over the side during the heavy the rolls from the waves, but they didn't necessarily know about this one particular couple of items that went over in this one particular spot. Now the stuff is not that far off of the coast, and it would actually be possible to go out there by boat and get this stuff. But apparently some things came up, and after the salvage effort was over, he kind of forgot about it for the most part, and kind of set it aside. And he had always intentions of going back and retrieving it, kind of diving down and getting it, but it just kind of never really happened. And he estimates that it was maybe worth like a couple $100. And I was like, $200? right there, right off the coast. I said, tell you what, I said, if I'm willing to take a flight out to this island and go down and get it, if I find it, I said, what's going to be the deal with that? And he's like, well, tell you what, if you find it, it still has got to be returned to its original claiming owner. I was like, galleon treasure from like hundreds of years ago? It's claiming owner? He's like, yep. And I'm like, all right, so what's the incentive in going down and getting it if as soon as you find it, you just got to hand it over? And he's like, well, I'll tell you what, there is a little bit of a finder's fee that I would get from it. And if you actually find something, depending on what it's worth, you know, the finder's fee can vary, and, you know, I'll kind of compensate you for it. So if I find it, I'm basically going to get a portion of his finder's fee. So sounds like a good challenge to me. So I'm off to find this treasure. Wish me luck.